Hello there. So you have three cards to pick from. You have cards 1, cards 2, and cards 3. I'm sorry I could not show you the cards, but I made a mistake and deleted them. Yeah, that's on me. Hi there. So if you pick card number 2, card number 2 is happiness is. Your happiness stems from when you're in complete alignment. Your happiness comes from when your protection is at its optimal health. What do I mean by that? When you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing spiritually, mentally, physically, then the spirits that walk with you, the ancestors that walk with you, are happy. They are appeased. When you fall from doing the things that you need to do, that's when other things start falling in alignment. Because you're an individual who senses a lot of wanted and unwanted energy. You pick up a lot of things. So you always have to stay on top of your cleanses. You always have to stay on top of your prayers. When you're doing these things, everything will stay in motion. Your life will flow. Look, I can't make this up. So look, what is that? Is that a 9? Is that a 6? That's a 6. That's a 9, 2. So this is a 6, and that is a 9. The 9 represents the ancestors. 9 also represents death, like, starting something ending, something new starting, rebirth. But that's beside the point. You see the hippo. The hippo is being led by another hippo. This card, you see a line of people following behind each other. Well, yes, it is people. You see a line of people following behind each other. It is because they're in alignment. Don't step out of line. Don't fall out of alignment. Do the things that you need to do to stay on top of your spiritual hygiene, to stay on top of your prayers. Don't go against yourself. And that's what I'm hearing. Don't go against yourself. When you hear something, when you pick up on something, you hear something about somebody, stop doubting it. Don't go against yourself. Because a lot of times you get warnings about people. You get heads ups. When you do all that, you will stay in motion. Again, like I'm going to end this phrase again. I've heard this phrase when they talk about like husband and wives. But let's apply it to your spirits and your ancestors. When they're happy, you're happy. When you're happy, they're happy. It's a give and take, back and forth. Look at the person in the middle. He's happy. And the people around him, they're happy. Both parties are good. You're in alignment. The protection is strong. Look at that. Look at around how strong that protection is. That line is not broken. All right. I'm going to move forward. I hope that helps. Thank you. Hello there. So if you pick this card, what is moving towards you? The main thing that's moving towards you right now is peace. You having to walk away from something that did not serve you. You having to turn your back on something that wasn't for you anymore. And trusting that you were going to be okay. That peace is a type of peace that nobody can buy. The first card you have is a capable girl. If you're a guy, a capable guy. When I think of the term capable, it means you're capable of doing anything you set your mind to. Times might be hard, things might be hard, situations, events that have been in place might have been difficult, but you were capable. You still pushed through. The next card I have, because you pushed through, you in a way stood out. You stood out amongst the crowd. And because you stood out amongst the crowd, it also kind of helped. It caused you to, you were an individual who already stood out amongst the crowd. Because you already stood out amongst the crowd, you, in a way, in the past, you burnt a lot of bridges. Now people would tell you, oh, don't go burning bridges. But for some reason, in your case, you burning the bridges that you burned only made you stronger, because it pushed you to put yourself out there. It pushed you to build yourself up. When you had nowhere else to go to, you had to rely on yourself. And because you had to rely on yourself, you pushed yourself so hard just to show, I'm not going back. I don't need you. And sometimes, this is a phrase I've heard before. It's not my phrase. Sometimes people burn bridges just to show them that you can swim. And that, my friend, is what you did. When you did that, it caused you to hold your head up high. It caused you to have more courage in yourself. It caused you to believe in yourself and to trust yourself and to trust your instincts. You had a lot of doubt in the past. And a lot of times that doubt got in between of your discernment. But now that you have so much peace, your discernment is A1, is on point. It's sharper than it has ever been, and it's only going to get sharper as you continue to progress and move forward. When one door closes, another door opens. Kind of like the same saying, one chapter ends, another chapter begins. You won a lot of battles. You also been in a lot of battles. But it's because of your courage. It's because you're capable of doing anything you set your heart to. Just always remember to keep yourself grounded. I'll leave that with you. All right, so if you pick card 3 states, what wildness needs to be unleashed? Let's see. Courage. So for the first card, you need to start encouraging yourself. You need to have more encouragement for yourself. As you can see, the first card that fell out is nosy old man. I was probably thinking, what does that got to do? What does this got to do with encouragement? Sometimes our sense of encouragement comes from when we stop looking at others and start looking within ourselves. When we stop wondering what this person's doing over there and how they're achieving X, Y, and Z, and we start looking at ourselves and start focusing on ourselves. That's when that sense of encouragement will come. That's when those new ideas will foster within us. So that is something that needs to be released. Second. Way too many info. If you are not happy with yourself, then how can you encourage yourself? If you're too busy looking at others or, judging others, how can you build yourself up? It's not for you to wonder how this person is doing X, Y, and Z. It's not for you to wonder about how they were able to obtain the things that they have. And I hope this doesn't sound cruel or anything, but sometimes, we really have to learn to stay in our own lane. When we learn to stay in our own lane, that is when we're able to improve. That is when we're able to elevate. That is when new blessings are able to come within our lives because we're able to receive them. You can't receive the new blessings if you're too busy looking at other people. Give me a second. All right, so for this person, for this card, for this, I don't know if this is for particular individuals, for a group of people, for this card, in order to get yourself in the right mindset, you are going to want to consider doing a fast. You're going to want to, maybe it could be a fast where you you isolate yourself. You go into hermit mode. And if you don't know what hermit mode is when in it, aka you isolate yourself. It could be for X amount of days where you just kind of keep to yourself. You stay off of social media. Stay off of social media. When you isolate yourself, when you go into isolation, I want you to go into heavy prayer. And as you go into heavy prayer, ask what your next steps should be. Make your prayer about what your next steps should be. And you'll receive your answers. Because that's what this card looks like, a sacrifice card. And sometimes when we're having to deal with a lot of things, or we feel like we can't really move forward, we can't progress forward, you have to pause for a second and reflect. But if you're so guarded that it's hard for you to stop and even reflect, you can't even begin to unravel what's at the core. And what is at the core is you. You need to pull up and grab yourself so that you can receive all the things that are due for you, all the blessings that are meant for you. What is meant for you, no man, nobody can take. So I want you to move forward. It's not an enviness. It doesn't feel like it's an enviness or anything like that. It's just it doesn't feel like it's a jealousy thing. It doesn't feel like that. You just, at this moment, you need to keep your eyes on your plate. But in order to do that, to unpack that, you need to look within yourself. And the only way that you can do that is by going into prayer. And for this one, you're going to have to, when you sit down and go into prayer, go straight to God. Ask what is next of you to do, and you'll receive it. And fast. A lot of times people, when they fast, they may fast from things that they are weak, that they're weak at. That may be their weakest. It could be something that you eat. It could be something that you watch, you consume too much of. That could be TV. That could be social media. That's why I mentioned all those different things. But you know what it is. Without me even going into details, you know what it is. And that's what you need to fast from. All right. I'll leave that with you.